So while this is dripping, let's just talk a little bit about what you're actually looking at. Because I haven't shown these aquariums on camera before, I think, as well as those two. So I'll give you a little bit explanation and why you're getting to see this now. So, this is my update. I've had these 3 aquariums now for maybe 2 months, maybe more, and I never really got them to a point where I was happy. Just a little review. What this is right now. This is supposed to be my pleco tank. This is currently a quarantine tank. And currently this is just housing some plants that's struggling and experimenting with a giant substrate. It used to be half as much, but I had a whole bag that I could just empty the rest of it into, so I did that instead of having more stuff lying around. So right now, both the aquariums on the sides are empty. Only this one is hosting 2 fish. One of them is I think it's a red laser rainbow fish, which was about to die. Then I put it in here for a quarantine. Gave it some sun. There we go. You see the other fish, and that's a barb. I think it's as you can see, it's coming up. You see the eye. It's starting to pop out, so I decided to put it in here too. This is a quarantine tank because I have these 2 sick fish. I put some salt in it to try to rescue the red laser rainbow fish, and to my surprise, I had an instant response when I put salt in the tank. It was down in this tank at first. It was just a few days ago actually, and it was spinning around in a corner over there, trying to focus, spinning around, and the other fish were picking at it because it did not have any balance at all, and it looks like it was about to give up on life and just die. I'm happy I noticed that, because then I knew I had these empty aquariums, so I took the one I thought would be best suited as a quarantine tank / medicine tank. I used this one, and just about 3 to 10 minutes after putting in aquarium salt, the fish started swimming properly. The second day it looked like it was getting worse again, having some trouble swimming. But later that same day, it was back at looking healthy again. I wish we could see it, but it seems... Yeah, there we go. Got a little showcase here. It's a female fish, I think. So that might be why it was being picked at, and maybe that's the cause of why it's sick. But right now it looks pseudo healthy. Not very healthy, but certainly better than what it used to look like. These 3 tanks were recently picked apart because I had them stocked. I had some quote-unquote purposes for them, but those purposes weren't really purposes. They were just tanks where I had fish and nothing really looked pretty or anything. In this one I had some Danios. I think they're celestial Danios, not pearl celestial Danios, just normal celestial Danios. Or pearl Danios, sorry. Normal pearl Danios. They have been moved over to this tank. I'll give it a little bit of explanation. This tank in the middle had 8 Harlequin Resporas. They were also moved to the same tank. And this tank had my guppies growing up, and now they have been moved to where they were born. but they're the only guppies alive left. So hopefully that will work. For future, this is supposed to be, I hope this can be a Pleco breeding tank, but I have no idea if that will even work. Never tried it. Species only, and right now it's just... Oop, my video cut out. I was speaking for like a minute after. As I think I was saying, this is a species only Pleco tank. We'll see what's gonna happen with this. You can see it has some algae, I think it's blackbeard algae or something. It's just a bacterial layer on the outside of wood, which haven't been boiled usually. So that's that. I don't know if it's gonna be bad for the aquarium, but I don't think it is. Currently there's no fish in here anyway, so that shouldn't matter that much. The future plans for these two tanks, the black and the white substrate ones. For the black one, I want to try out having full black substrate and only white or brightly colored decorations, and in the white one, the opposite. I want the darkly colored decorations. Just as an experiment to see what will happen, if it will look nice, if it will look bad, or what's gonna happen. So we can talk a little bit about this tank. Currently, the stocking should be... I don't know if I've showcased it. It should have been showcased in one video before, but it was like no plants at all. No stones, one piece of wood, which is still back in there, but that's about all. The stocking should be the same, pretty much. Same type of fish anyway. Zebra Danios and red laser rainbow fish. I might have that one might be dwarf neon rainbow fish, I'm not sure. Didn't have any colors when I got it, and recently has gotten some colors on the top fin, so maybe that's a dwarf neon, and then if that's the case, I'll move it over to that tank in the middle. But other than that, in here is two Plecos, or bristlenose Plecos, about 10 Zebra Danios, and I lost count on the rainbow fish, but it shouldn't be more than like 8 maximum. And there's some corridors in here as well. And both the Plecos have decided to show themselves. That's the big one. That's the smaller one. I think this is a male, since it has started growing bristles. But we'll see. Let's see if we can find the corridors. As you can see, it's heavily planted with this, I don't even know the name of it, but I have a lot of it. It grows like hell. And it's a nightmare to trim, but it looks good. Or can look good. Right now, I don't think it looks good. So where are the cories? They should be back here somewhere. Or not. There's one. I can barely make it out. A peppered cory. I have 3 of the peppered cories, same as I had in my last video. This tank was showcased. And right now there's only one of them. I don't even know the name of the other one. It's a bigger Corridora that's greenish bluish color, turquoise color, and I don't have the name of it. Maybe it's like an emerald, but I don't know. The reason why there's not 2 of them anymore is because I've had 2 accidents in the same day. When I was rescaping these ones and doing some maintenance on them, I had 2 accidents with one of the pearl Danios in this tank, it somehow managed to jump out on the side gap. So I'll try to showcase it here. It's way too small right now. A fish can't jump this gap, I'm pretty sure, of that one size. But when this light, which was mounted on the sides here, it made the gap a tiny bit bigger. I'll show you why. Because of these things. These things went on there. Well, it doesn't even make it bigger, but it did have a little bit of impact. And the fish had managed to jump out there, and then I found it in the morning after it might have jumped in the middle of the night or something, dried up right here. So that was sad, but luckily it was only one of them. And later, the same day, not during the night though, at a different time, in this tank one of the cories managed to jump out, also with the lid on. And I suspect this gap to be the what should we call it, the criminal. I found it outside. Right there on the floor. Sorry, I just have to be a little bit quiet because there's other people in the house. So yeah, it managed to roll its way all the way out. I found it when I came back from the store, so I was a little bit shocked. It was entirely dried out, no wet spots on the floor or anything, so God knows how long it has been there. And I suspect that is because of the stress the fish had to go through. Because something else I would like to show you. The day I was doing maintenance, or the day after I was doing maintenance, I did this to hold up the lights so that there can be lights in the air instead of having them on the top like they're supposed to be. But I think this makes it a whole lot easier to do maintenance on the aquariums. It gives me some more space to move my hands, and easier to not to get them wet either. So how I did this is very simple. I say a lot. This is a nail, tiny nail with like a hook on, usually used very similar to this, just to hold cables. It's a little bit different from this one actually, but you shouldn't be too unfamiliar with this concept. So I nailed it through this plate without the hook. Then when it's the nail sticks through, I put on the hook on the wrong way around, and then I just take a tool to curve the nail so that it doesn't come off easily. So this actually sits on really well. Well enough to not be a problem anyway. So this one is only one on each side, and on this one bigger, I gave it 2. But because I had to use a hammer to get the nail through this plate, it made a lot of noise, and that might have been what's caused the fish to get jumpy, scared, and jump out of the aquariums. Even though this one wasn't. I have to think now. This one should not have been impacted by it, but this one was, so the corridor might have been scared because of it. I get the timeline a little bit mixed up, but anyway, that's how pretty much how it went down. So right now I would actually just like to show you how I fill up my aquariums up here with water, because obviously I can't get buckets of water through here, way too little. I could put buckets up here, and that's what I used to do in the past if I had to fill it with water, or like a tiny cup, and then use vacuum suction thingy to get it down in there. But now I got a power head for Christmas from my girlfriend that pushes the water from this bucket. It's way easier, so it pushes the water simply into the tanks. Even though this is a very slow process, it saves me a lot of sorry the video cut out. Saves me a lot of hard work and potential back issues, and I don't have a good back, so we take those. Also, just a little bonus, I can show you all. This table I love it. As you can see, it goes up and down, so it makes it also a lot easier for the water to travel. So you see just me increasing it a little bit, made it start dripping, because it has water halfway, you know. Just because the travel distance is harder, that's why it's one of the reasons why it stopped right now. So if I take it out, maybe watch it empty or something, I don't know. No, wait, that's not how I do it. It's also USB powered. That's pretty nice. So now it empties of water. Maybe if I restart it now, it restarts. Even on the other side. So I absolutely love this technique. Saves me a lot of time, or not time, but a lot of energy. And as a professional lazy person, energy saved is a big bonus for me. So I think that's all I would say about these tanks. I'm gonna do a rescape on this tank for sure, as I have gotten a lot of stones and lots of excess plants, as you can see in here. There's some of the stones, but it's hard to tell. So let's go right to these tanks. I haven't wanted to show these tanks off because I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with the way they're stocked, but I try to ensure that it's not terrible. They are tiny aquariums. There's no denying that, and I would like smaller fish to be in here. The reason why I have 4 tiger barbs in here, or there used to be 5, but one of them is in quarantine tank now. The reason why the tiger barbs are here is because they can handle the temperature without a heater. Don't have a heater in this. This one does have a heater, but there's only I think it's only 5 black skirt tetras, which is a small amount of stocking. Even though they should have a bigger tank, I don't have a tank that suits them better than this one right now. So I want to get them out of there, get some smaller fish in here, but currently that's not doable. It's a lot of algae in here. You can see it's been over blooming even on the top. This light is very bright, and I took off like a paper on the bottom of that light, which made it a lot worse, or a lot brighter. So I have to reduce the time, but I have a pleco in here, a bristlenose pleco, which has grown so much since I put it in here. It's eating a lot of the algae off, and it's getting more stable, but not good enough. The reason why the color is so tinted in here, or a brownish tea color, is because I have put some alder cones in here, which puts the color into the water, and because I heard the barbs is more likely to spawn in that kind of water quality. And also the light above here is a very cheap or old light that we have with a yellow tinted bulb. Couldn't get a better one. Enough about those tanks. I'm not happy with them and I would like to do much better. And then there's this tank. I call it the shrimp tank. But there's not only shrimps in this tank. There's, as you can see right here, there's a bristlenose pleco getting some size. There's a lot of snails because I have been overfeeding, sadly. And there's one, if I can find it, there's one fish in here. It's besides the pleco, it's a sparkling gourami, a very small sparkling gourami. It's probably hiding amongst the leaves or the plants or whatever you want to call them. It's very overgrown at the moment and the pump isn't generating bubbles, but it is working. I just have to change the filter quite regularly on this one. So there we can see there's I think it's called a mono shrimp. So I have like 5 of these, I think 5-6 of these in this tank, as well as another type of shrimp. They are called king tiger shrimp, I think. But they're also very hard to spot. I'm trying to see if I can find them, but maybe it's even harder on the camera. Is that another shrimp? There's the fish also in the back there. It's hard to find the zoom. Should be able to see it sometimes. There we go. Sparkling gourami, beautiful fish. I really like it. And there's another shrimpy fellow. There's also, is that a shrimp? No. There's also, used to be, I don't know, I haven't seen it in a while. There used to be a tiny like red and white cherry shrimp. Maybe it's like crystal cherry shrimp. It was absolutely tiny, and ever since it became overgrown in here, I haven't seen it, but it used to be hard to spot, and then I would eventually find it every now and then, so maybe it's still here. There's also Gary the snail in here. But this tank is usually a mess. It still is a mess right now. So I really wanna focus on getting this one better looking. But it's been a tough thing to do for us for the entire duration, because it's such a small tank. This is where the cardinal tetras used to be. I'm glad I got them out of there, or I didn't actually get them out. Most of them died, and the 2 last ones I took to a bigger tank. They're still living with a new generation in a bigger tank, but the point being, I'm glad I don't have cardinal tetras in this size of a tank, because it's very small. But at least this has some good growth on the plants. Maybe we'll see some of the king shrimpies up here from the top. There's one shrimp in the back there, but that doesn't look like a king tiger. It's almost impossible to see anything. Well, one of the positives about this tank is there's a lot of hiding spots if they were to breed. But I have not seen any of my shrimps at all have ever carried any eggs, so that's a problem. I've recently gotten some more food for them, so maybe that will trigger them to spawn some more. There's supposed to be at least 3 of them there. I'll just hold the camera a little bit more. They're usually the ones I see the most. I don't think I have ever had them on in a video before, so it would be nice if I got them. We've had some small glimpses of these 3 tanks. My, should I say, main tanks. This one is currently looking quite fine. I trimmed it last week. It was extremely overgrown, similar to the one you just saw, the Battlecast one. But the lighting is getting better in here, and I got the green algae problem away, so I'm happy about that. Currently it is stocked with 8 guppies. Guppies that all were born from guppies that I bought, so these are technically like my first ones. One of the guppy babies died. I had 9, or I had actually 10. One died at a very early age, and another one disappeared in the bringing up tank. But other than that, most of them seem healthy. One of them is a very beautiful guppy. I think it's the one you see over there. One of the male ones. I mean, these ones aren't bad, but if you get, yeah, there we go. This is the one. It got colors on its hands, fins, whatever you want to call it. I think it looks really pretty. It looks very healthy. Is this the one? I don't even sure if this is the one. No, it's not even that one. It's all the way in the back there. So she's chasing the female. Maybe she's getting pregnant. She looks, yeah, she's got a big belly, so maybe she is pregnant, and that's why they're bullying her. They should be at that age. But anyway, other than the guppies, there's I think there's 11 cardinal tetras and 1 neon tetra. The 1 neon tetra that I got in here was misidentified by me when it was out of water, because there was no new people in the store, and they couldn't tell the difference between the fish. So one of them is a neon tetra, the rest is cardinal tetras. 11 of them and 1 of the neons. 2 of the existing, or probably the biggest cardinal tetras, are the ones that I had from the last pack. There's also shrimps in here. One is luckily kind enough to give us a little view here without moving too much. I've had these shrimps for a long time now, or quite some time now, and none of them have ever carried eggs as far as I have seen. None of them have grown any shrimplets or whatever you call them. So either they're getting predated, but there's just so many hiding spots, so I don't know how that really works. But either way, they're not growing the way I would like them to. But at least they're pretty, and only one that I have identified, or one I have seen die. All the other ones seem healthy. Something I'm not familiar with is, if you can see down here at the bottom in the substrate, there's some slug looking wormy things. Don't know what they are. Recently discovered them, and there's a lot of them. Don't know if they're bad for the environment, if they're just a subgenre of snails, or what's their deal. But it don't seem to be hurting the quality of the fish. No fish has died in here in a long time. So I'm happy about that. Let's just try to get around here to get a better view of some of the things in here. You can see the sluggy things are everywhere at the bottom. And shrimp over here that we saw earlier. Looks fat, but I can't see any eggs. It's quite dark here. Also looks quite fat, but I can't tell if there's eggs in there. Doesn't look like it. Should be about 10 plus minus shrimps in here. We'll see. Or we won't see, because it's really hard to get them out and count and all that. Yes. There's another shrimp back there, but can't find it on the camera. Is it? Yeah, it's in shot. Hiding back there. But that's enough about this tank. It's gotten a little bit out of control, but mostly happy about it. This tank does not look as good as when I rescaped it, but all in all it's not terrible. Still has a massive snail problem. All the Ruminos tetra still live. Happy about that. Now they have the Pearl Danios. I think it's Pearl Danios. A big bunch. One of them still haven't healed its tail. It's been like that ever since I got it. But there's also the Harlequin Resporas. Some of the Resporas are tiny, as we can see back here. Absolutely tiny. Only 8 of them. Only 4 dwarf neon rainbows left. But they're pretty fish. Maybe one of the other in the other tank is a dwarf neon, so it could get restocked a little bit, but we'll see. There's also right now 2 plecos in here. One big bristlenose and one absolutely tiny bristlenose. Got some beautiful plants coloration back there, and also some really bad plants that aren't doing so great. That's why it's so planted in the middle so randomly, like it's just there, hoping it will grow back, even though I don't need more of these. I just don't want to see the plants die. These plants are getting very stringy at the bottom, as you can see, but very beautiful at the top. This corner here is meh. Not much to say. There's some red plants back there, but I can't even barely see it, so. Also, this little random bunch. Not much to say about this tank really. It's doing okay. Haven't had a casualty in... Yeah, haven't had a casualty since a bloated rainbow fish, and that's like at least over a month ago, maybe 2. Maybe it was even in like a video, so don't know about that, but I think this one is doing great. Even the bristlenose is coming to high, the big one. Probably a grown up female, if I had to guess. Too bad we couldn't see the littler one. Because it's absolutely adorable when you compare them. And then last, definitely not least, this tank with the yellow lights, which is annoying as shit. No new stocking here. think. Yeah, actually, or since the last video. Oh, I did a rescape of this. So no new stalking here. Only one death of this one's companion. I found it dead in the corner of the tank. It had been dead for probably a day or two. When I discovered it, was full of bacteria. Don't know what happened. But it's growth-wise, it's doing okay. You can see there's a big bunch of plants just getting along over there in the middle. In the corner, the big Amazon plant is doing okay. So yeah, the plants are doing okay, even though this has a little bit of die-off and coloration problem. I definitely seem to be having an algae problem, so maybe I should turn it down on the lighting here. The Bala shark is still a beast, but not too big for the tank yet. And I have been lucky that the Bala shark haven't been bumping their head or panicking anything in this tank. All the Siamese alligators are also doing nicely, all the 6. There's actually 5 of them in frame right now. There's the last one. The 2 left rainbow fish, looking great. Still don't know how to sex these. They look very samey. Even the coolie loach is coming to say hi. So yeah, I'm happy with this tank, even though the lighting sucks and I have a algae problem. But besides that, I'm happy. You can see the Pandagara back there, cleaning a little bit right now as I'm talking about it. So that's nice. And the angelfish are now the same size, or maybe they were in the last video, but they're the same size now, and but they're still fighting a bunch. So they're probably both males, most likely. I don't know how to sex them, so. Also, you can see the temperature of this tank. It's very cold, even though I have burned myself on this heater, so it's supposed to work, but I can't change the temperature of it. So maybe if I put this heater closer to the heater, what did I call it? The temperature measurer. If I put this one closer to the heater, it probably would be a little bit warmer, but it wouldn't really matter. So maybe I should get a new heater and just see if it fixes some problems. But money is a concern right now. We can also say a little bit hi to the African butterfly. It's looking as healthy as ever and as boring as ever. We got a little bit of light differences going on. Looks a little bit better now, I think. That's the problem with filming aquarium. Sometimes the light's changing. It's just right now it looks cleaner than it is, and right now it looks probably cleaner than it's supposed to look anyway, but either way, I have a good filter on it, so it should be mostly good. Just one little look before I finish off this video. So this is just a short little update video on what's going on, because I haven't really found any thematic videos I could make or anything. There is gonna be a rescape coming up. Rescape video coming up because of all the stones I bought. I also bought a lot of more aqua soil back here. So maybe I'll use that to fill up back there, or maybe reimagine some other tanks. We'll see. Stuff is probably gonna come up, but I can't promise any dates or anything. So yeah, that's my update. Hope you'll stick around, but there's not much I can promise in terms of quality wise or why you should subscribe. Just maybe if you just like seeing somebody's fish room every now and then, consider subscribing. That's enough for this video. Goodbye.